Hello and welcome along to the Tennis Asia podcast. And on this show, well, it is the time of year that we have been waiting for with bated breath for some time. It's finally upon us. And yes, the Asia Challenger swing is about to get back into full flow. But before that, there is the small matter of something called the United States Open, the fourth and final slam of the year. Qualification is done. The draws are set. And here to talk about the men's side of the draw, Mr. Tennis Asia himself, Eddie McGee. Eddie, how are you?
Yeah, very good. And just still buzzing after the US Open qualification tournament, which is, there were some interesting results there from the Tennis Asia perspective. But, on the other hand, though, this particular slam is at the most horrendous time zone for us here in
Hour of
Asia.
the day, yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. You certainly said that. Yeah, it's been good. It's probably been. I think we're probably talking about quality rather than quantity in terms of numbers into the draw. Um, Give me a standout from qualifying though. Before we go through the draw, give me a standout from qualifying. I think I know what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's got to be Coleman Wong, right? If we're
He's
talking
finally
about
done it.
on the men's side, yeah, he's finally done it.
Yeah.
It's great for him, obviously. And when I did the little qualification preview, I did select him as one of the players that I thought might be able to get it done. And that was just on the he hasn't had the most consistent year, but that was on the basis of actually he'd done well in the Masters events on the hard courts, and obviously hard courts is where he that's his surface. And
Yeah.
this was actually the first time that he'd reached the third round of a slam qualification, and he managed to get the job done this time. He got the job done with a 6-3, 6-4 victory over Billy Harris. And that was, he came through the first round also in straight sets against Chris Rodesh from, I think he's from Luxembourg. And so
that's not the Dutch flag, is it? That's the
So the Hong Kong against Luxembourg, two of the smaller territories competing. But then we had Coleman Wong, who had to come back from a set down against Matteo Gigante. So I mean, he had it. It wasn't straightforward, but he really dug in deep and got it done. And I mean, I didn't actually see the match against Billy Harris live, but I mean, it was quite late. But I was too busy watching. I'd watched the Io Ito and Janice Chen before that. But yeah, Coleman, great for him to get this result, and obviously it's a huge deal for Hong Kong tennis because he's the first man in the Open era to actually reach the main draw of a Grand Slam singles event. So great for him, great for Hong Kong tennis, and something for people in Hong Kong to feel proud about. I mean, it's been a while since they've had any sort of tennis players of note. I mean, I said, he was the first in the Open era. There was another player who actually made Wimbledon, Hong Kong player who made Wimbledon back in 1954. It was.
Oh, okay.
So that's pre-Open era. Open era started in 1968, right? So that's the professional era. So great for him to be able to do that. And I think the last player at amongst men or women to be in a Grand Slam singles draw was in 1988 at the Australian Open.
Oh, and wow.
They would have been potentially later because Patricia He represented Hong Kong until the end of 87, and then from 88 through the 90s she represented Canada. So unfortunately she doesn't technically count, but I mean some people might count her, but I mean just really good for him. I mean, as I said, like he hasn't had the best year in terms of consistency, but he came through qualies in Cincinnati before this and it beat Cerundolo, Mochizuki and Giovanni Mepesci-Pericard, and then lost out to Hugo Humbert in straight sets. But it wasn't too bad, 6-3, 6-4. But respectable. I mean, obviously, Wimber is a decent player, and then going back further than that, there hasn't been too many results. But he did make it through qualies in Miami, and then he got that victory. Oh no, was it? Did he even come through qualies? I think he might have had the wild card, right? But then anyway, he was in Miami Open, and he beat Ben Shelton, so that was big for him. Yeah. So I just had this feeling that coming into this that it might be good for him, and the draw wasn't too bad, so yeah, it turned out to be the case, and he's actually been rewarded with a somewhat decent draw because he avoided a seed in the first round. And if I'll get that draw up in front of us, we can have a look. Okay, so you see that there?
Can indeed. Alexander Kovacevic.
Yeah, Alexander Kovacevic of the US. Certainly could have been worse. He probably is an underdog because Kovacevic has, he's done pretty well this year. And he's reached much better heights than Coleman has so far in his career. But it could have been worse though. And they have played once before, and they played at the Cap Cana Challenger, I believe, earlier this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in March. So that was a big challenger event because it was one of the 175s I think played during was it Miami or Indian Wells, right? But anyway, he got through to actually won the event, Kovacevic, in the end. So that was they have played each other before, but I think this time it's going to be a bit different. Obviously, 5 sets it will be. I think Wong, the way he's playing, he's gonna have a chance, and obviously going to be very motivated.
Would this be his first best of 5?
His first best of 5 match. That's a good question. I suppose it must be, yeah, because otherwise it only comes in the final qualies round of Wimbledon. They do a best of 5.
Yeah, which I don't think he's got to. So
yeah, so that's going to be a different experience for him. But he's young, and yeah, we'll just. I don't think it's going to be too hot in New York. The weather looks actually fairly reasonable. So yeah, hopefully that won't affect him in that way, or either of the players. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. And if he does get through, as you can see there, he will have probably a match against Ugo Umber, who I mentioned earlier that he lost to before. But maybe helps a little bit. You've got experience playing against him, and obviously when you go into the interesting thing about best of 5 tennis is that even if you lose 2 sets, you're still going to have a chance to come back, and it does happen. So yeah,
well,
I think
I noticed Billy Harris did also get into the draw as a lucky loser. He's got FAA, so certainly could have been tougher draws, and an exciting time. And it is from a purely mercantile point, it's extremely important as well. You get to the first round. What's the prize money even if you lose in the first round of the US Open? It's in excess of $100,000, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't actually have the numbers up in front of me. I mean, it's at least
110,000.
You've got it there.
I think it says it at the top of the yeah.
Okay. The prize money, I've got it here, $110,000. Yeah, for reaching the round of 28, 128. Sorry,
128. Yeah.
And yeah, if he'd lost and just stayed in that Q3, the third qualification, it would have been about 57,000. So that's about half. So yeah, big difference, and a big increase, obviously, because playing mostly challengers. Even if you win those events, you're getting most. I don't know, like 10,000 for winning or something, maybe, like if you're lucky. But there's not much money, and yeah, that's going to help him out a lot, and definitely maybe ease a bit of pressure on him as well. You go into this, and then suddenly, yeah, it's all to play for. He has lost against Kovacevic before, but yeah, as I said, that experience is not a bad thing, I don't think, and it's a new game, and I think he's definitely going to be feeling good about the way he's played. He seemingly played very well in the qualies, so yeah, it's got all to play for. And if he does get through that second round, it'll go up to 154,000. So yeah, all good.
All good. I didn't think even we would be able to talk about Coleman Wong for 10 minutes or more, but we have. So we had better move on and go through the rest. Should we go right up to the top
Yeah.
section of the draw? We find Yunchaokete, and he's had a bit of an up and down sort of year, but found his form in Winston-Salem last week.
Yeah, he went like obviously because he had a great period at the end of the end of last year in the Chinese tournaments, obviously back-to-back semi-finals in the 250 and 500 in Hangzhou and then in Beijing. So yeah, great results there, including results beating Musetti, Rublev, good players. I think even Kashanov he beat as well. And then, yeah, obviously this year it's been pretty bad. I mean, he reached a quarterfinal right at the start of the year, the ATP quarterfinal. But then, since then, the results have been pretty bad. The only wins really coming in, I think there was one challenger, 175, he got to final. And then after that, it's just been, a lot of losses early. And then, yeah, comes into the American hardcourt season and actually gets some okay results, again. And I mean, he was actually winning, like he won against Goffin first round in this Washington Kopriva, and then lost to Fonseca in 3 in Cincy, but then getting through against Shang and then Tsitsipas in Winston-Salem, and then Mariano Navone. He got to the quarterfinals and lost in 3 to Botic van de Zandschulp. Actually, he was down a set in a break, and then there was a rain delay, and then they came back on Saturday, and he came back, won that second set. And still lost in 3. So, but that's maybe not a bad thing because he gets out Saturday, gets a bit more time to get to New York, prepare, and I think he'll probably be playing on Tuesday. So he's got plenty of time to settle into the conditions in New York, and also not the worst draw for him as well. I'm obviously avoiding a seed, playing Valentin Royer. You can see there, the French player who's primarily played a lot on clay. Clearly, clay is his best surface, and less so on the hard courts. He did okay in grass, actually, but maybe the natural surfaces is what favors his game. And Boo, obviously, is definitely a hard court guy, so all his good wins have come. And now that he's started to get some results, I think this actually could be an opportunity for him to get through. And then if it becomes into a bit of a grind, maybe you favor Boo because he's just better in the conditions. And I think, if he does get through, potentially Marton Fucsovics or Shapovalov, both tough players. But I mean, I think he can give it a good go. And I think anything beyond that's just, if he does get through the 2 rounds, it's probably a bonus. Obviously, Sinner's in that section and would definitely, almost surely be waiting in that 3rd round. And you'd have to say, not a bad section, really, for Yannick. I mean, is any section ever going to be bad unless it's got, Alcaraz or Djokovic in it? And that's not happening when you're number 1
that's
seed.
Not happening, no. Okay, let's move on, and we might have a.
We've got this man here.
Yes, of course, we do indeed. Yes.
The Kazakh representative Alexander Bublik gets a pretty tasty opener against Marin Cilic.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cilic is old now, and he's not had like the most consistent time as well in terms of playing. But something about this also screams to me, because I mean, with Bublik, you never really know, right? I mean, he can be tremendous, and then he had a tremendous grass, and then lost in the first round in Wimbledon, right? Grass season, because he won Halle, beat Sinner, right?
Right, and everyone was sort of tipping him as okay. He's the sort of dark horse to potentially pull off a shock or something, and that lasted a few hours.
And that was not long after making the quarterfinals at the French Open, which most people would never have predicted. But he's worked out on all the surfaces. So I mean, something about me is telling me that might go 5 sets. Bublik Cilic, and who wins it in the end is going to be, well, if it does go 5, you never know, really. Cilic is,
let's just hope they don't put it on last. It could be a 4 a.m. finish. Yeah.
But Bublik does get through that. And then Sonego and Skulke are definitely winnable in the second round. But Sonego is always a bit of a tough one. It depends how he's feeling. But if he does get through the 3rd round, probably Tommy Paul. And Tommy is, it's going to be difficult, I think, on in New York. But you never know. I mean, with Bublik, realistically, you're hoping he's hoping to make it maybe to the fourth round and probably put up a good fight against Sinner and
Right.
but yeah, probably lose, right? I mean, at the moment, it's really hard not to back Sinner beating anyone there, and yeah. But let's see what happens.
Okay, we briefly mentioned Jason Cheng already with regards, I think, to Bu Yunchaokete's little run last week. He's also in the main draw. He's got Zizou Bergs.
Yeah, Jason Shang, also known as Shang Chunshin, he is the Taiwanese player, and he is primarily also a clay court player. I mean, that's where he really does excel. Won a challenger, finished runner-up at another this year on the clay. Yeah, he's not had too many good results coming into this event on, in the North American hard courts, but neither has Zizou Bergs. And while you might make Zizou, a favorite on paper, he's also experienced a string of losses. So this one is quite interesting for me in terms of like, maybe it's probably Bergs that might be feeling the pressure more coming into this. Sheng's probably just happy to be there somewhat. He's just outside the top 100, and he's lucky to be in the draw. Not qualifying, and yeah, I think it's a chance here for Shang. He can obviously, he's a good. You can certainly grind out the rallies, and while he's much better in clay, I do think it's possible. Zizou, if Sheng plays a smart match, he can bring in the errors in Zizou's game, obviously with the way he's been playing recently, and it's possible for him to get a win. But even if Sheng does get through, it's probably Jack Draper in the second round, and I'd be hard pushed to not back Draper in that matchup. But and certainly Draper, he's going to be one of the players be expecting to maybe go far, although some interesting names there. Gabriel Diallo, big server, he's definitely on the up there. And then you've got obviously Mepeshi Parikard, but Musetti is there as well. So good players, and it's going to be plenty of players there can go far. So it's be interesting to see who can come out of that section. But for Sheng, if he gets the second round, that's probably good for him, really.
Right. We have done Coleman. Yeah, we've got a bit of a scroll until the next one. We have another one who did come through qualification, and that is Mochizuki. And he had a pretty tough, a couple of three setters in qualies.
Yeah, Shintaro Mochizuki. I mean, he was one I did highlight as a potential player to get through amongst the Asian players in the qualification in that episode I did before. And, he's had good results coming in. I mean, he was especially impressive. I mean, he's obviously got the grass court, game for grass court, tennis, and Ilkley, semis, and then got a final in Nottingham, lost to Cilic, and then got to the second round through qualies at Wimbledon, and also came through some long matches there. I mean, he came back from 2 sets down against Zepieri. Mochizuki lost to Kachanov in the second round, Karen Kachanov. So and it really did look like he was going to win at one point, and he played so well, and that was like the best I've ever seen Mochizuki play. And just such a he tries to be aggressive and tries to find a shot that he can bring himself to the net. Play aggressive, try and find his corners, and just sort of press the issue a lot. And it's not something maybe we see that much anymore when players tend to hang back behind the baseline. But he's someone that's that's a style he's adopted because he's not the biggest player, and that's just the way he likes to play. And yeah, he played at Cincy. Of course, he mentioned he lost to Wong in the qualies there, but having obviously come through qualification here, he also reached the semis in the Sumter Challenge just before this. So I think he's in a good place right now with his game. He's winning a lot of matches overall, so he's going to be feeling good about that. And playing against Hugo Gaston, who is also, quite a interesting player himself. A lot of amazing touch that he has, right? And so I think that is also potential to be a really entertaining match, and also possibly one that could go 4 or 5 again. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, if Mochizuki does get through, it's either one of the two Australians, either Chris O'Connell or Demonor.
Right.
I'm sure he'd probably prefer to play O'Connell.
Yes.
Yeah, and Demonor is really, it's a difficult one to go through, because I mean, he is like, he's the 8th seed for a reason. He's just so consistent now, and more often than not, he tends to beat the players that you kind of expect him to beat. And
yeah,
he
wasn't. There was that stat about him that he's over a certain amount of time he's never lost to someone seeded below him, and never won against someone seeded above him. So yeah, the ultimate consistent player.
Right. That was, I think, especially in the slams, wasn't it? Right.
In the slams,
yeah, and it's always what's so hard in the slams, because you have to do that over 5. It makes it a bit tougher to beat the players better than you, right? So
as it should, as it absolutely should. Yeah. Okay, so chances for Mochizuki. Moving on, certainly, I'm not sure chances, but certainly a big occasion, Arthur Ashe Stadium for Yoshi Nishioka.
Oh, he's been put on Ashe?
He's been put on Ashe, yeah.
Wow.
Facing Tiafoe.
Okay, you're right. So it's on the Sunday match, or is it the?
I don't know, but on the US Open site, it's definitely scheduled for Arthur Ashe Stadium. They have the stadium courts, so I assume they've only scheduled the first day so far.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's definitely an experience for him.
An experience.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, he's not been in good form, right? So, I don't think he's going to be able to get through this match unless there's going to be something wrong with Tiafoe. I mean, Tiafoe again is the kind of player where, I mean, I'd expect him not to throw in too many stinkers, right? I mean, you kind of expect him to beat the players that like this, that you'd expect him to win against. And I'm just actually trying to get the schedule up as well. But I mean, it's hard to really think of anything positive. Obviously, Nishioka's played recently and he's had some bad results. The only thing I'd say, obviously, is still a hard court, which is where he excels. But maybe he can win a set. I'd be surprised though if he actually manages to win more than a set. To be honest, if I'm being honest, and maybe I mean, Nishioka's a funny one though, because I feel like sometimes he'll just have an incredible run of form out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for him as well, like being one of the smaller guys on tour. I mean, he definitely is one that who really is more, his preference is a quicker hard court. And maybe US is not always maybe quite as quick as he would like it, but that's why he's done so well in the Asian swing usually, because there's more his conditions. But we'll see how he does. I mean, let's see if he can come out swinging and create a bit of pressure, but I'm not expecting too much there.
Okay, moving down, I think we've got a long way to go until we find, of course, we see some of the stalwarts of the Asian Challengers swing in here, but we keep going.
Yeah, I mean, the standout name there is this man, Jerry Shang, aka, well, his real name is Shang Juncheng.
Shang Juncheng, aka Jerry Shang. Yeah.
But yeah, everyone calls him Jerry Shang, and supposedly named after Jerry from Tom and Jerry. But he's up against Mattia Bellucci, who, I mean, also another guy. Yeah, he's been playing a lot in the Challenger events now. More, you see him more in these big events now. But guy also does well in the hard court. So Shang, of course, is coming back after surgery and months out, and it didn't really fill me with much positivity when he obviously came back and played in the Masters events, and then was complaining about a problem in his foot again. He lost 2 matches against Duckworth, and then in 3 against Echeverry. I suppose that was a good competitive match against Echeverry, but Mattia Bellucci, maybe unlike some of maybe a lot of Italian players. No, this guy he plays pretty well hard courts, and he actually likes it a bit quicker, similar to Shang. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be more or less a 50-50, I would say. I mean, just obviously with Shang having coming back and not really having too much to be positive about, I'm a bit I'm not sure about backing him. But what I would say though is that if he can find his level, he is really the better player on in terms of potential. So yeah, maybe he can find that, and let's see if he does get through.
Second round be 50-50 as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, he'll come up against Alcaraz, and yeah, I think most both of those players would just be happy to be there if they do make it there. And well, I don't really think they think like that, but they think like I'm going to give it a good go and I'm going to win. But but from my perspective, Alcaraz is taking those matches, and he's probably going to make it through to that fourth round. And another Asian player from Kazakhstan, Shevchenko. There, he's drawn against Davidovich Fokina. That's a pretty bad result. First off, I think Davidovich is, he's been playing very well, just unlucky to miss out on another title recently. He was very upset losing that title, but I mean, he's such a tough competitor, skillful. He's obviously, he works hard, and I'd expect him to come out on top in that one, maybe 3 and 4. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about. Maybe if you want to chime in as well, like, who do you think? Who do you pick for the title on the men's side?
I was gonna ask you for that in terms of the title. Is this guaranteed to be a Sinner and Alcaraz final? Well, as I said, maybe we don't really know how Sinner is after Cincinnati, and we know that Carlos is probably still thinking about Emma. So it could be time to catch him cold at the beginning of the tournament. I was going to ask you about Djokovic. How far do you think Djokovic can go? Obviously, he's got Le Tien in the. I don't really think it matters if he draws up until when he meets Sinner. I did see someone commenting on him swanning into the grounds of Flushing Meadow, looking $1 million after resting for several months while everyone else has been flocking themselves into the ground on the tour.
Yeah, but I mean, is that good or bad? Obviously, I mean, it's good for him. I think probably he needs to do that, and because he's obviously struggled, when the later stages of the slams, because he's getting old. He is old. Like, the age has finally caught up with him. He's 38, and so yeah, he's not played any of the lead up tournaments. Is that always a good thing? I mean, sure, yeah, it's Djokovic, so he can, probably find that level. But first match, it might take him a little bit of to get into it. And Le Tien, he's going to have the crowd behind him. So he's performed admirably against big players. Obviously, he's beaten Medvedev. He's beaten Zverev. He's beaten Rublev. He's beaten good players, and he seems to, it's funny because in the way he plays similar. I mean, when he beat Medvedev, he played kind of similar, and to Djokovic in terms of, like, they like to have the rallies and sort of wait for their moment to pounce, sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, I could certainly see that one having a lot of good moments. Maybe Tien could take a set. Maybe he could push it to 5. But I mean, probably Djokovic still gets through, right? He finds a way. I mean, with Tien, his serve is an issue. So I mean, Djokovic should be looking to attack that as much as possible. It's interesting because, yeah, Djokovic is in the same half as Alcaraz. And I think if Alcaraz is going to lose to anyone, it's probably going to have to be Djokovic. I mean, Djokovic has a great record against them. And, if Djokovic was in Sinner's half, you're thinking, well, Sinner probably takes him out again, right, in the semis. But yeah, maybe he gives him a chance if he gets through against Tien. I mean, I don't see too much trouble in him there. Rune is, still never really lived up to the early expectations of him. He's maybe the first test in the fourth round. But also, I suppose you do have Jakub Menšik. I do think a peaking Jakub Menšik, I mean, he has the ability. He also got Joao Fonseca there, but I think he's still a bit raw at the moment. But, Menšik obviously won Masters. Let's see if he can find it this time. I mean, but probably not. And you'd have to say, probably Djokovic does get through those sections. And then I think it's going to be interesting because for Alcaraz, he has Medvedev, and it's not the Medvedev of old, really. I mean,
Of
it was a few
course.
years ago. You'd be saying, well, that's a big one in fourth round for Alcaraz. Is he going to get through? But I think he'll probably be able to get through that one if they do play, and then maybe Shelton in
I was
the
going to say where Shelton landed in the draw. That would be
yeah. So they could meet Shelton and Alcaraz in the quarters. Um,
quarters.
I
Okay.
I think at the moment Shelton has shown that he can beat most of the players, but
Mm,
I think when it comes to the guys like Alcaraz, Sinner, and that, he's not
yeah.
quite ready to take them on. I think in the five sets, especially. So, um, yeah, I mean it's interesting. I mean, I think if Djokovic, especially if he's going to beat Alcaraz, it's going to be on the hard courts as well, because I mean
Mm,
Alcaraz is definitely it's his weakest surface, despite being a U.S. Open champion in that title. So I think though you kind of still have to back Sinner, only because I mean you said that you talked about his illness, but I'm assuming from what his team that he's okay,
right.
but
Mm,
and like that section's not bad. So his half is not. I don't really see much troubling him there, and
yeah.
I kind of expect him just to make it through to the final. And and it's really just down to whether that's going to be, is it going to be Alcaraz? Is it going to be Djokovic? I suppose it could be someone else, but like, I mean,
Could be. We never know,
yeah,
and that's tennis. I completely agree. All things being equal, uh, Sinner all the way. Um, well, I guess best of luck to all players. Best of luck, especially to those from this part of the world. We're looking, of course, for Yunchaokete, Coleman Wong, possibly to be the ones to get through. Still be with us on Wednesday night. I'm going to jump off right now, but you're going to continue on over to the other side of the draw. Some very very tasty ties indeed with the women's section. For now, though, thank you very much.
cheers.